So, speaking of how private sectors reacted, let's move to India, to Dilip Shah. And Mr. Shah, we've just been talking a little bit about relations with the private sector from the government point of view, but from the point of view of the manufacturers, and India obviously is a huge source of pharmaceutical products. Can you describe your work in building the industry capacity to comply with regulations, and how you see the industry working with regulators from the Indian and foreign governments? So, Mr. Shah, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, the National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine, for giving this opportunity to participate in this program. A few words about my background. I graduated from the premier business school in India, the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, in 1966. It's been 52 years since then I've been working in the pharmaceutical industry. My 30 years were with Pfizer, India, and I was on the board of directors of Pfizer, India. Currently, I'm on the board of one multinational and two other Indian companies. Two of them are pharmaceutical and one is an engineering plastic company. I'm Secretary General of the Indian Pharmaceutical Alliance. It's a group of 23 large Indian companies moving towards original research. So they have made significant investment in the original research. In terms of revenue, I represent almost two-thirds of India's $34 billion pharmaceutical industry. And my members exports to U.S. is almost 75%. As I move towards the topic, I'll first give you an overview of what Indian pharmaceutical means to the USA. I'm not sure if my one-pager background note has been circulated to the delegates.
It has, Mr. Shah. We have it here.
It has been. All right. Oh, good. Very good. Thank you. But I'll still rely on it to convey the importance of Indian pharmaceutical industry for the United States. Every third pill that an American takes is made in India. We account for 40% of the total imports of generics in the USA and have saved over $80 billion per year in healthcare expenditure. This is the reason why US FDA also looks at us positively for two reasons. One, they want to ensure that what comes from India to US is safe, effective, and quality medicines. And number two, we can really contain the prices of medicine in the United States. So, the second is not an agenda of the FDA, but they are concerned about competition, availability, and pricing. Now, before I move to my 4 slides, I would like to raise the critical issue which I'm addressing. How do we ensure safe, effective, and quality medicines? One way is intense, repeated inspections. The other way is a mix of inspections to find out where are the weaknesses and conducting capability building programs which would enable every shop floor worker, the supervisor, the middle management, the rationale for every regulation that has been framed either by FDA or MHRA or EMA. Because we are major suppliers to across the world, including Europe, USA, North America, and the rest of the world. So this is the first question, that which is the best way. Second, should the focus be only on inspections, which are ultimately is a snapshot of a given point of time, or should it be a balance between inspections and capability building? And how best the FDA can deploy its limited resources for capability building abroad? Now, I've tried to answer these questions through my 4 slides. I'll move to after the title slide, the slide number 2, key elements. When we received...
Sorry, which slide are we on now? We're on 2, yes?
Slide number 2.
Good.
It says key elements.
Yeah,
right?
I just want to be sure because you talked about moving on, so we're good.
All right. Now, since 2014 and 2015, when major Indian companies, all of my members, received a number of warning letters and import alerts, it was a wake-up call. And we responded by forming a quality forum. And quality forum was focused on total quality, not mere compliance. Now, most of the training programs in the world today are based on compliance. We said, no, we will address the basic quality issue with aspirational goal of being the benchmark of global quality. So, because out of conviction, we realized that capability building has a lasting value and could help reduce burden of snapshot inspections. So we used tailor-made capability building programs to provide better outcomes than general training programs. They were tailor-made because based on inspections by FDA, the problems they found, the most recurring problems, we said let's address those problems in order of priority. And the programs were tailor-made to address those issues. And we have reached a stage today, why I'm addressing this here, that after 3 years, FDA says, look, we are not in the business of training. We are only here to ensure safety, quality, and efficacy of medicines for American citizens. We have represented that, look, our objective is same, and it can be better served by capability building than by inspections. So we have been advocating to institutionalize the effort to achieve better outcomes. And indeed, I'm not sure if Mary Lou could come attend the program yesterday, but she attended our annual conference in 2017. I'm moved to slide number 3. And after attending IPA's second annual conference in 2017, this is what she wrote. I would leave it to you to read, but she very clearly said that we look forward to your continued leadership and support within India to raise the appreciation and awareness of criticality of pharmaceutical quality throughout the life cycle. Now, we not only are doing the capability building for industry, we fund as an IPA, as an industry, and this is unique in the world, that every workshop and annual conference, we have 30% of the seats reserved for Indian drug regulators. So in the workshops, the drug inspectors come. In the annual conference, we invite the senior drug officials. We expose them to how the US FDA, the UK's MHRA, the EU's EMA work and address these issues. So we are also doing capability building within the Indian regulators. And how do we look at, I'm going to slide 4 now, quality excellence. And we have focused on operating systems, management infrastructure, and most important is mindsets and capabilities. The quality culture needs a continuous hammering to change this culture. And there are indications, as a graph on my printout, the background note which has been distributed among you, that from 2016 onwards, Indian pharmaceutical industry is doing significantly better than even US companies or rest of the world. So you may have a look at this chart. And how have we achieved this? This is my last slide, the slide number 5. The quality culture needs to be addressed from top and from bottom. So unless CEOs are committed, you can't change the organization culture. And we got CEOs to commit publicly that where and how they would change, and they had to give account of the changes they implemented every year during the annual conference. Throughout the in 2.5 years, the data that I have, we are in this program for 3.5 years now, but I have data for 2.5 years. More than 50 man days of CEOs, 6 companies are engaged in this, is spent on this quality forum. More than 500 man days of senior operations, R&D, and manufacturing and quality is spent on the activities that we are doing. When companies were spending this money, they also wanted to understand that what is the outcome? Are we making progress? So we covered a culture and capability assessment of 25,000 employees within 6 companies and repeated this after 1 year to see whether there was absorption. They were appreciating the changes that which we were trying to bring. And in this exercise, we covered more than 20 manufacturing facilities. So my submission to this august audience and the academicians here is that inspections alone is not going to solve the issue of safe, effective, and quality medicines coming to the United States. We need a blend of both, where inspections provide the leads and then address the issue of capability building. In last 3.5 years, we have trained about 1,700 middle management and senior management employees, including the drug inspectors and the senior drug officials. It's a very small effort. We do 3 workshops in a year. Each workshop has 100 delegates, so 300 there. And we do 1 annual conference where about average 300 senior management and CEOs are present, in addition to the drug officials. We invite FDA, MHRA, EMA, EDQM, and WHO to participate in these programs. And we have lessons learned by Indian companies who make a presentation about their experience of this journey towards quality excellence. We bring in experts from the consultants, but most important is involvement of the regulatory agencies. I only hope that this seminar, this conference, would address this issue and take a larger view of how to strengthen food and drug regulatory systems abroad by putting adequate emphasis on capability building. Thank you. I'm done.
Thank you. That was excellent. And this was one of the points made in the 2012 National Academies report that it wasn't more inspection but more emphasis on capacity building. You've given a great example of that, and also how you've been able to share the capacity building resource that you've developed for the companies to the benefit of the government regulators. Looking over at Lembit, I think he's going to want to be sure that they didn't get co-opted in that process.